My presentation will revolve around a very simple question, simple and yet fundamental. Can machines be creative? So before all technologists jump off the chairs and tell me, no, they cannot be creative. Of course, a piece of metal with a bunch of numbers in it it can never be creative. I would like to say, let's wait and see. So let's think about something. What is creativity? To answer to this question, I will propose three different definitions of creativity. One will be based on language, which means we're going to look at the root of the word creativity. Another one will come from one of the greatest artists of history, Michelangelo. Guess what? Italian. And the third one will come very modestly by me. So the first definition of creativity. What is creativity? Creativity comes from a verb, creare. What is creare? It's an activity. It's an activity, but activity of whom? It's the activity of a god. So creativity is an activity and therefore a skill and something that comes from a god. So every time we use the word creare or to create, we should really pay attention to what we're saying, because we are somehow implying that we are repeating the actions of a divine presence, a God. So there is a breath of the divine every time we create something, every time we bring something to life, something new. Second definition of creativity. I love this. It's from Michelangelo. People don't know that. Everybody knows this. This is the David. This is the David of Michelangelo. Normally we used to look at David in his face, the front, the chest, the muscles. However, the beautiful part, the most beautiful part, is this, the back. So Michelangelo, what did Michelangelo say about creativity? He said, when I create and I have a block of marble, what I'm really doing there? I am removing the excess from the marble. So creativity is an act in which we remove the excess from the marble. So it's an iterative process. It's like a while loop. Okay. While the piece of art is imperfect or unfinished, I continue to work until the piece becomes perfect, until the statue emerges from the block of marble. Third definition, more modestly from me, I have fun with words. I create words. I link them together. I write. And I've read a bunch of different things. And rather than what is creativity in general, I would like to say what is creativity for me, how I experience it. Well, whenever I have to create something, a new piece, I set an intention, look for words which are already contained somehow in my mind, or the sentences that I've memorized, that I know. And then I repattern these sentences into a novel combination. So to some extent, I'm using old things, words which are already there and present, but repurposing them for a new, in a new combination. So it's a process of repatterning. It's recycling, really. So this is how I see it. And what happens when I do that? When I get into the zone and I do this thing? Well, let's look at an example. I've been playing on Instagram a little bit. I paint portraits, but with words, which means I think about someone, I take a photo of this person, and then I try with my words to paint their essence, like with the brush of my pen. And this is something that I wrote for a woman I was in love with. So here it is. And it's actually longer than this. It says this: if you were an adjective, you'd be watery, moist, windy, tempestuous. If you were names, you'd be struggle, fall, madness, but also rise, success, redemption. Good art, bad art, good creativity, bad creativity. It doesn't matter. what it really matters is that these words that everybody uses normally now are put into a novel, original, decent combination. So, can machines be creative? The answer is, I don't know. So I had to reformulate the question. Can machines help me be more creative? Can a model, again, a bunch of numbers thrown in a piece of metal, help me engage with my own creativity and produce something more interesting, more novel? And this is the origin of my project that I am Techna. So normally, which is a text generator, basically. The idea is simple. Normally, when I hear about people engaging in language generation, we train models on general knowledge, on a lot of books. But for me, I did something different because I wanted the model to produce something that looked like something that I would say, that I would think, even if I didn't. Sometimes I don't even agree with myself. So maybe the model says something that I don't agree with, but something that it's close to me. And so to do that, I built a data set with my interests, my favorite songs, some of my favorite books, some of my favorite quotes, things that crack me open, that make me want to cry, that make me jump because of joy, that make me want to dance. So I did that. And I'm going to give you a brief example of the things that I've used. For example, here, Alicia Keys, my muse. One of my favorite songs from Alicia Keys is Underdog. I sing a song from a hustler, training on the bus stop, single mothers waiting on a check to come, young teachers, students, doctors, sons of the front line who never gonna get a run. This goes out to the underdog. This is a song that makes me cry every other time that I listen to it. So she needs to be there. Then Jacques Iraq. The only people for me are the mad ones. Mad to live, mad to talk, mad to be saved. Desirous of everything at the same time. Those who never yawn, nor say a commonplace thing, but burn, burn, burn like a bright yellow Roman candle. And then I have a third example and last, from Nikita Gill. We have calcium in our bones and iron in our veins. Calcium in our bones and iron in our veins, carbon in our soul and nitrogen in our brains. 93% stardust with souls made of flame. We're all just stars that have people name. And so take all this, shake it, and put it in a nice model. It's very simple. Embedding layers, LSTM. I played a little bit with LSTM, tried to stack multiple layers on top of each other. Couldn't improve the accuracy. Looks like the model works better when it's simpler. Simplicity sometimes, perhaps, or maybe it was just me. Who knows? Anyway, got accuracy of 80%. Trained the model for maybe like 300 epochs. After 300 epochs, the model didn't perform any better. And this, everyone, are some of the output that I got. I do not want you. Now I'm like you. I don't think I'm gonna dance for you. I'm so tired, girl. So my model is a little, sassy here. And then there is a little bit, the model gets a little bit deep. Pure is beyond altogether. And then there is my favorite one, of course. Love is the knowledge of the right things. And this is something that I really resonated with me because I worked on love for many years and I still think about those things. Huh? So what? Yeah. And yes, so here is where I stop. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, colleagues, for this beautiful experience. And thank you to my mentor, Tristan,